Ladies and gentlemen, let's cut the crap for a second. Everybody wants success. They want the cars, the freedom, the recognition. But here's the thing, nobody talks about success is brutal. It's lonely. It's ugly. It's not some highlight reel on Instagram or a vision board on your wall. It's waking up at 4 a.m. when nobody's clapping for you. It's grinding in silence while your friends are partying. It's failing over and over until your ego is shredded and your discipline is the only thing keeping you alive. This isn't motivational fluff. This is the hard truth. And if you're not ready to hear it, that's fine. Success isn't for everyone. But if you're done with excuses, if you're ready to look reality in the face, then buckle up. Because we're about to get real about what it actually takes to win. Let's go. Discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation is that fleeting high you get after watching a hype video, reading an inspiring quote, or hearing someone talk about their success story. It feels good. It fires you up for a moment. But here's the problem. Motivation fades. It's not consistent. It's not reliable. And it sure as hell isn't going to carry you through the days when everything in you wants to quit. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is cold. It's calculated. It doesn't care how you feel. It's not about emotions. It's about execution. It's about showing up regardless. Most people wait to or feel like doing the work. They think they need to be in the right mindset, have the right playlist, the right lighting, the perfect setup. But success doesn't wait for your conditions to be perfect. Success rewards those who show up and put in the reps, even when everything sucks. Especially when everything sucks. That's discipline. It's doing the work when it's boring, when it's hard, when it's not paying off yet. It's waking up early even when you went to bed late. It's hitting the gym when your body's screaming. No, it's studying when your brain feels fried. It's saying no to distractions when everyone else is indulging. Discipline is sacrifice in motion. You see it all the time. Someone starts strong, fired up. They're telling everyone about their goals, posting about their grind. Then week 2 hits. The excitement wears off. Now it's just hard work. No applause, no results yet. That's when most people quit. Not because they weren't capable, but because they were depending on motivation to get them there. Motivation is great for starting, but it's discipline that makes you finish. The people who win in the long run, they're not the most motivated, they're the most consistent. They've trained themselves to act regardless of how they feel. Discipline is a muscle. It's built through repetition, and the more you practice it, the less you rely on willpower. It becomes who you are. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't give yourself the option to quit. It becomes automatic. That's power. Because when you operate from discipline, you don't need to hype yourself up. You just do it. You execute. That's how you separate yourself from the pack. Most people are ruled by their feelings. Winners are ruled by their standards, and standards come from discipline. It's also about building trust with yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and actually do it, you're reinforcing self-respect. You're proving to yourself that you're not full of it, that when you say you'll grind, you will. That's confidence, not the fake, loud kind, but the kind that comes from quietly stacking wins when no one's watching. And over time, those small, consistent, disciplined actions create massive results. People love to romanticize success, but discipline is the part no one wants to talk about. It's not sexy, it's not fun, it's repetition, it's boredom, it's pain. But it works, and the truth is, if you only work when you're motivated, you'll never reach your potential, because your goals don't care how you feel. Your responsibilities don't pause because you're tired. Life doesn't wait for you to get inspired. You've got to move, whether you're in the mood or not. Discipline is about doing it anyway. It's about showing up day after day, brick after brick, even when it's thankless, even when it feels like nothing's happening, because that's when the real foundation is being built. That's when character is formed. Not when it's easy, but when it's brutal. Success demands sacrifice, period. That's the part people avoid talking about because it's not glamorous. Everyone wants to talk about dreams, vision boards, and manifestation. But the reality is, if you want something big, you're going to have to give something up. Time, comfort, relationships, sleep, entertainment. Something's got to go. You can't expect to keep living the same way and suddenly wake up successful. That's not how it works. Success is a trade. And the price, it's everything that most people aren't willing to pay. The higher your goals, the steeper the price. You want to be the best, then your schedule won't look like anyone else's. Your weekends won't be spent chilling. Your nights won't end early. You're going to miss out on birthdays, parties, trips. You'll have to say no a lot, and people will not understand. They'll think you're obsessed. They'll tell you to relax. They'll try to guilt you back into average. That's part of the sacrifice too. Not just what you give up, but who you outgrow. Success isn't a group trip, it's a solo mission most of the time. And that loneliness, that's part of the price. You'll sacrifice ease, comfort, predictability. You'll go through seasons where you're putting in hours and not seeing any reward. You'll question yourself. You'll wonder if it's worth it. But that's the crucible. That's the test. Everyone wants the result, but few are willing to walk through the fire. Sacrifice is what filters the serious from the casual. Because when it's 5 a.m. and you've slept 3 hours, or when you've been grinding for months with no recognition, only one question matters. Are you still willing to pay the price? This isn't just about hard work. It's about choosing the hard path on purpose. Choosing the harder option every single time. Do you sleep in or get up and work? Do you watch Netflix or study? Do you go out or stay locked in on your craft? These micro decisions stacked over time build empires or bury potential. And every no to distraction is a yes to your goals, but it costs you. The problem is, people want to win without losing anything. They want the gain without the pain. That equation doesn't exist. You have to understand that success isn't about balance, it's about priority. There will be times in your life where your work is the only thing that gets your attention, where balance feels like a fantasy. That's not unhealthy. It's the sacrifice required at certain levels. There's a season for everything, but when you're building something elite, average habits can't exist in your world. Sacrifice becomes the filter. What are you willing to give up to become the person you say you want to be? And the crazy part is, no one will applaud your sacrifices in the moment. No one sees you skipping dinners, grinding after hours, sitting alone with your thoughts while others are out laughing. They just see the result later and call you lucky. They don't see the sleep you missed or the tears you hid. But the ones who made it, they know. They've all paid. It's a silent, brutal tax that comes before the spotlight. If you're serious about success, you need to start asking better questions. Not, what do I want? But, what am I willing to give up to get it? That's the real separator. Are you willing to be misunderstood? To delay gratification? To keep pushing when it feels like everyone else is ahead of you? Most people aren't. They want convenience, approval, and results. But you don't get all three, you get to choose two at best. The truth is, success will cost you pieces of your old self, habits, identities, sometimes even people. You can't hold on to who you were and become who you're meant to be. That bridge is sacrifice. It's painful, it's real, but it's necessary. Because if it didn't cost anything, it wouldn't be worth anything. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful and brutal truths about success. Human beings are wired to seek safety, routine, and predictability. We want to avoid pain, avoid stress, avoid risk. But the exact conditions we instinctively chase, comfort and ease, are the ones that kill growth. You don't get better by staying where it's warm, familiar, and easy. You grow when you're stretched, when you're tested, when you're pushed into situations that force you to adapt or fall behind. Most people never reach their potential because they prioritize comfort over progress. They stay in jobs they hate because it's safe. They keep the same circle of friends because it's familiar. They avoid hard conversations, skip hard workouts, and delay hard decisions. Why? Because comfort is addictive. It lulls you into a false sense of security. It tells you you're okay where you are. But deep down, you know you're capable of more. You're just not willing to get uncomfortable to go after it. And that's where the trap is. Growth lives on the edge of discomfort. Every breakthrough you've ever had, physically, mentally, emotionally, came after you went through something hard. Maybe it was a painful failure. Maybe it was a rough season. Maybe it was you doing something you didn't believe you could do. That's the pattern. Pain first, growth after. You have to get uncomfortable to level up. The gym hurts before the muscles grow. The public speaking sucks before the confidence shows up. The long nights, the early mornings, the awkward silences, the rejections, they're all signs you're stepping into something bigger than yourself. Success demands that you become someone new, and becoming someone new always feels uncomfortable. You have to break old habits, kill old beliefs, and abandon the version of you that's no longer aligned with where you're going. That process is messy. It's hard. It's full of doubt and resistance. And your brain will fight it every step of the way. It will try to drag you back to what's easy, what's certain, what's known. But that's where dreams go to die, in routines that feel good but don't challenge you. Look at any high performer in any field, and you'll see someone who has mastered the art of leaning into discomfort. They do the work even when they're tired. They have the conversations others avoid. They make decisions that scare them. They choose the harder path on purpose because they know that's where the growth lives. It's not about being fearless. It's about being willing. Willing to be uncomfortable, willing to look stupid, willing to fail in public. That's what separates winners from everyone else. The uncomfortable path is where real confidence is built. Not fake confidence based on compliments or achievements, but the kind that comes from doing hard things consistently. When you face discomfort head on, you teach yourself that you can handle adversity. You build resilience, grit, and a mindset that doesn't fold under pressure. That mindset becomes your superpower because while others are retreating, you're advancing. While others are staying safe, you're getting stronger. The truth is, your comfort zone is a cage. It feels safe, but it's small, and everything you want, success, impact, growth, legacy, is outside of it. That's the paradox. You have to let go of comfort to gain power. You have to be willing to suck at something before you get good at it. You have to say yes to opportunities that scare you, to challenges that might break you, because those are the exact things that will shape you. Most people don't want to hear that. They want shortcuts, not struggle. But the ones who truly want to grow know this comfort isn't your friend. It's your silent killer. You will lose friends on the way up. That's not a threat, it's a fact. When you start chasing real success, when you start setting higher standards for yourself, not everyone will come with you. Some people won't understand your drive. Some will resent your ambition. Others will feel threatened by your growth because it highlights their own lack of progress. And slowly, the gap starts to form, not just in lifestyle, but in mindset, in values, in vision. The conversations that used to feel comfortable start to feel out of place. The bond you thought was unbreakable starts to feel strained. That's part of the price. People think success is just about the hustle. They think it's all about grinding harder, pushing limits, chasing goals. But one of the hardest parts is emotional. It's realizing that some of the people you love the most might not want to see you win. Not because they hate you, but because they're scared. Scared of being left behind. Scared of facing their own excuses. Scared of change. When you start evolving, it forces others to look at themselves. And not everyone is ready to do that. So instead of growing with you, they distance themselves. Or worse, they start pulling you back. It starts subtly. They make jokes about how serious you're getting. They guilt trip you for missing hangouts. They downplay your progress. They say things like, "Don't forget where you came from," or "You're not better than us." But deep down, you know what's happening. You're changing. You're outgrowing conversations that go nowhere. You're outgrowing habits that waste time. You're outgrowing people who are more comfortable complaining than improving. And while you still care about them, you start to see the misalignment. You're aiming higher. They're standing still. Losing friends doesn't mean you're heartless. It doesn't mean you think you're better. It means you're choosing purpose over comfort. And that's never easy. Some of the most painful moments on the success journey aren't the failures. They're the realizations. Realizing that someone you thought would always be there won't be. Realizing that loyalty has limits when your ambition starts threatening the status quo. Realizing that silence from someone you once called a brother or sister is sometimes louder than any insult. It hurts. But it's necessary. Not everyone is meant to stay. Some people were in your life for a chapter, not the whole book. Their role was to teach you something, support you for a season, or challenge you to grow. But clinging to people who no longer align with your future only slows you down. You can't fly if you're always looking back to make sure everyone's still comfortable. The higher you go, the thinner the air gets. Fewer people can breathe at that altitude. And that's okay. The ones who truly matter, the real ones, they'll grow with you. They'll support your evolution even if it challenges them. They won't need you to shrink so they can feel secure. But those people are rare. Most aren't built like that. So you'll have to learn how to move forward with love, but without attachment. You'll have to be okay with being misunderstood. You'll have to let go of the fear of being alone because for a while you will be. That loneliness. It's not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're leveling up, because success demands a new circle. People who challenge you, who elevate your thinking, who hold you accountable. You don't need more friends. You need the right ones. People who aren't afraid of your growth. People who clap when you win, not just when you stay the same. People who remind you of where you're going, not where you've been. No one cares until you win. Get over it. That's one of the harshest truths you'll face on the road to success. You can talk about your goals all day. You can show people how hard you're working. You can cry, scream, and bleed for the things you believe in. But at the end of the day, the world is watching one thing: results. People don't care how many hours you put in. They don't care about your pain, your struggle, or how much you believe in yourself. They care about outcomes. They care about what you've actually done. And until you start producing undeniable results, you're just noise. In the early stages, it's just you. You're building with nothing but vision and effort. No applause, recognition, no validation. You'll be grinding in silence, often wondering if it's all worth it. You'll be doing things day in and day out that no one notices. And it's easy to get bitter about that, to feel like you deserve more credit, more support, more belief from others. But that mindset will kill your momentum, because the truth is, you're not owed anything. This game is brutal. Results speak. Excuses don't. You can't expect people to believe in something they can't see. You can't expect them to invest in you when you haven't proven the ROI. In the beginning, you're invisible, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's your proving ground. That's the test. Can you keep going when no one's watching? Can you stay focused when no one's clapping? Can you bet on yourself when no one else is placing bets? That's what separates contenders from pretenders. The ones who rise are the ones who don't need external fuel. They've got fire inside that doesn't go out just because the world isn't paying attention yet. When you win, everything changes. People start to care. They start reposting your content, telling stories about how they always believed in you, suddenly acting like they were there the whole time. That's how it works. Winning validates everything. It turns doubters into fans, silence into praise, and solitude into attention. But that only happens at the finish line, not during the climb. So if you're waiting for support before you start taking action, you've already lost. You've got it backwards. The support comes after the success, not before. This truth isn't meant to make you cold. It's meant to make you resilient. When you stop expecting the world to care, you start focusing on what actually matters. You stop wasting time complaining and start putting that energy into work. You stop chasing validation and start chasing excellence. You realize that the only person you need approval from is yourself. Because when you really win, when you've built something undeniable, you won't need to explain anything. Your results will speak so loudly that people won't be able to ignore you even if they want to. The ones who make it understand that emotional detachment is part of the grind. They don't take it personally when no one shows up. They don't get discouraged when the likes, views, and applause are missing. They know that every champion was once underestimated. Every game changer was once overlooked. Every great story started in silence. And they don't need recognition to keep writing it. They just keep showing up, keep building, keep improving until reality catches up with their vision. This is what makes the win so powerful. Because when it finally happens, it's not just about the money, the fame, or the spotlight. It's about everything you endured when no one believed, every lonely night, every doubting voice, every time you wanted to quit but didn't. The win means more because of what it cost. And by then, people will care. But not because they understand what you went through. Because you proved them wrong without saying a word. Talent is nothing without relentless work. That might sound like a cliché, but it's the truth most people ignore. Talent can open the door, but only work keeps you in the room. There are thousands of talented people in every field. Athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, creators, who never go anywhere because they thought raw ability was enough. But talent is just potential. It's wasted unless it's refined, sharpened, and consistently pushed to the edge. Without hard work, talent becomes dead weight. It becomes a reason to get lazy, to cut corners, to assume success will come just because you're gifted. But life doesn't reward potential. It rewards performance. The problem with talent is that it can create an illusion of progress. When something comes easy, you start to believe it'll always come easy. You coast, you rely on what you can do naturally, and you stop developing the habits that lead to greatness. You see this all the time. People who were stars early on, who had all the tools, all the attention, and then fade out because someone else was outworking them. Someone less talented but more consistent. Someone who didn't take their position for granted. Someone who knew they had to earn it every day. And over time, work ethic beats talent every single time. Relentless work doesn't mean grinding aimlessly. It means committing to mastery. It means waking up every day and asking, how can I be better than I was yesterday? It means putting in reps when no one's watching. Studying your craft when others are relaxing. practicing the boring fundamentals until they become second nature. It's not always glamorous. In fact, most of the time, it's brutally repetitive. But that's what greatness looks like. It's built in the shadows, behind closed doors, far from the spotlight. People love to romanticize talent because it gives them an excuse. It allows them to say, I wasn't born with it, and walk away. But that mindset is weak, because the truth is work ethic can be built, discipline can be developed, skill can be learned. You might not be the most talented, but you can outwork every single person in the room if you're willing to pay the price. You can choose to put in the hours, to study longer, train harder, and push further than anyone else. That choice is what separates the elite from the average. The most dangerous person in any field isn't the most talented. It's the one who refuses to quit. The one who keeps showing up no matter what. The one who's obsessed with improvement. Because while talent waits for opportunities, relentless workers create them. While talent hopes to get noticed, workers are too busy building something undeniable. And eventually talent without work becomes irrelevant. Because the world moves fast. Someone is always coming for your spot. And if you're not evolving, if you're not improving, someone hungrier will pass you. It's easy to be good when you're talented. But being great, that takes effort, patience, and a level of obsession most people will never understand. It's about doing the things you don't want to do every single day because you know that's the only way to separate yourself. It's about training when no one's watching, studying when everyone's sleeping, sacrificing comfort for legacy. That kind of work isn't optional. It's required. If you rely on talent, you become predictable. If you rely on effort, you become dangerous. Because no one can outwork a person who's all in. No one can stop someone who shows up every day with purpose, with urgency, with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. That energy is rare. And when you combine even a little bit of talent with relentless, focused work, it becomes unstoppable.